How does science know there's space out there and there's a vacuum? Apart from deceiving humanity and making out they've flown spaceships out there, it only takes a half-wit to realise they were firing atomic weapons into the atmosphere and they were going off. They were hitting the firmament. The firmament being layers of gas. You can't get beyond those layers of gas. So how do they know there's a vacuum out there? They know there's a vacuum out there just like I know there's a vacuum somewhere, because I've done research too. It only took me a year to figure it out. But where is a vacuum? You get a vacuum inside a strong magnetic field. So where do you get a strong magnetic field? At the centre. The centre. Where are they trying to get plasma at the moment? At the centre of this how do they say it? Tokamak reactor through a strong magnetic field. Just like this is a strong magnetic field. Magnetic convergence. There's a convergence and a divergence there actually. In the centre of a strong magnetic field. Like Rodin coils and that. Over unity in those Rodin coils. What's happening at the centre of them? You've seen them on YouTube. They have a magnetic field. You can balance metal in there. A strong magnetic field. What does Earth look like? Earth looks like a ring magnet. What's at the centre of the Earth? A strong magnetic field. You don't have to get in there to find it. You just have to understand and have done a bit of research. I have, and I've discovered the whole design of the flat Earth. In there is a strong magnetic field. We can't get in there to find it. You can fly a plane in there if you want to the centre of the Earth, but it's going to hit the flipping firmament and you're going to crash. Just like if you fly out here. You can't get beyond these points. In that strong magnetic field, right, just like the ring magnet, is the plasma, is the sun. Our whole universe is in there, in the vacuum of space. So a strong magnetic field creates a vacuum. So what's a black hole? Black hole's in there. The black hole creates a suction. Everything gets sucked back down the black hole. That's that will be the magnetic convergence. Everything gets sucked back down here. This is how flat Earth works. That's the tropics. We have a field come out and gets sucked back down the centre of the central vortex. So our main sphere that we live inside, most likely is, an actual full sphere, but we're inside it, in this realm. So we've got a field of divergence being pulled to this third entity here. These are two opposing forces. They'll do nothing until this third entity is created. And the only way it's created is through the sun being created. So if there's no sun, there's no third entity. So the dual system just did nothing. It needs to rush to a third entity, to an opposite, not two opposing forces bouncing off each other. It had to have the opposite force for them to rush to. And once this is created, it rushes to its opposite force, which is the strong magnetic field in here. So you say there's a strong magnetic field and a weak magnetic field. But it's basically high pressure and low pressure, but same thing. So they know there's a vacuum in here. It's a no-brainer. That's how Earth works. It's this vacuum being sucked back into here, and these two currents coming down here going through the Earth and being sucked back up there. They get drawn in, bang, they're opposites, and they bang, hit it in the magnetic field. The vacuum very strong magnetic field, the vacuum, which is the black hole, which goes bang when the pressure is built up, which creates the sun. And the sun is sitting on the inside edge of the black hole. Once it's created, it just keeps sucking in and recycling itself. So the whole system is recycling. Down there, cuts across, up there. Some goes inside there to keep the sun going. Some passes by and goes down, gets sucked to here and gets pulled down to Earth, because if it gets pulled down, the low pressure is shooting up. And this is the opposing forces. Opposing. So counter force. These would be counter forces. They're both the same. This is the opposing force. It gets pushed out. So one force pulls the other. So that being squeezed out causes this to go down because they're pulling on each other. That's what keeps the whole system going. This gets pulled down to the tropics, through the Earth, and back up here. And then down like this. And this is the way it works. And some goes back into there. Even physics and science will tell you. What do they call it? Can't remember. But it's going to the sun, but it doesn't all go to the sun. It passes by the sun. Can't think. No, can't think. So anyway, that's it. There's the sun, and here is the vacuum of space. You can never get there. Everything is created here, amplified out into our realm. See, we're all from in here. Could be the size of a football or a fist, but it's been magnified into our realm. So now the centre of that, it becomes the centre of this. That's where we see the sun and the planets around the ecliptic, isn't it? In this area here. Remember, what's horizontal here is vertical here. No, hang on, that's not right. No, it's well, unless it is sitting in there like this, that's vertical, and that's what the Egyptians have left us. So maybe it must be all vertical. So you can imagine this in here like this: planets, 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 because the Milky Way is vertical in here, and the Milky Way is seen out here horizontally, isn't it? So therefore, it must be like that, because we're seeing the planets out in the ecliptic horizontally as well. This is the true flat earth model. You can't debunk it. It's been found now. The cat's out of the bag. You got the rest of Earth down here, but we're in a realm that's not physical. It's only physical due to our five senses. You have to get that in your head. So that's just looking through that's a slice through the donut. This is the flat Earth, just like a donut, but yet the center ring of the donut is way back in here, and that's the strong magnetic field that's looking down. But that field comes right out to the equator, celestial equator, because that's the northern rotation, sky rotation we all see, Polaris at the center, right out to the celestial equator. And then you've got the southern field, and that rotation. That rotation's the same as that rotation. People say they can't get their head around the fact that look how small that is compared to out here. Well, that image there is the same as that image there. And then they get all confused because it's getting so big out here. It's just the way it is. In celestial navigation, I've just shown in my videos, that is equal to that, and I've been saying it all along in all my videos. That is equal to that. People have to realise the more we move south, the more we expand with the magnetic field. We expand with it. But at the same time, the centre there, the equator is here. There's south out here. And there's north back in there, and there's north. So looking at side on through the torus, there's the centre, and we have our arc like this. So whatever is out here is equal to what's going on in here. Or if you want to go that way, we'll say the centre, your angles, your sextant readings are all the same here as they would be out there. And it's all equal. But Earth is flat. So you can be anywhere out here. And you'll get all these readings come down into your arc of horizon. You get that? You're inside the donut. Inside the donut. The little centre hole of the donut's back here. So you can get all your GPS and celestial navigation all there like that. Because that is equal to that. And it's a nice clean dome over your head. And you're at the centre. But if you look at it this way, when we move this way, we are just expanding with the field. Your science will tell you that. It's proven here. In celestial navigation, it's your longitudes. It's just the way it is, and that is equal. That degree, let's say 15 degree, is equal to this 15 degree back there, and that time is the same back there. And what do we have on clocks? A clock hand is exactly the same time there as it is down here. That all works. You can't debunk it. So they've never been anywhere. Science, they've never been out to find the vacuum. They cannot. They just know it's there because they know of magnetic fields. They know about magnets and magnetic fields. And they know they need a really strong magnetic field to get the plasma, to create the plasma in there. Well, if you get the real strong magnetic field and this vortex thing going on, this same shape, vortex spinning, powerful magnetic field, you get to a certain point and bang, you get the voltage. That's what it is. That's the sun. Get the strong voltage. And once you've built the pressure up and that's created, that just starts everything flowing. And this is how we're going to get the free energy. But first you have to create the right model. This model here. But at the moment, currently the tokamak is just a single system like this part here. Go online, you'll see it. And they think they're going to make the plasma in here. They don't have this, that's the centre part, but they reckon the plasma, they're trying to create it here. No, they have to have a dual system like this. Have this coming up and flowing back in there, and that'll drive the whole system. This is where the free energy is going to come into it. But the free energy comes from our atmosphere, our ether. It'll be getting sucked in here, flowing up like this, down there, and out and around here, down there, and back up there. But at the same time, it's getting sucked back down here, creating the energy. We need to draw this energy. They know how to draw the energy from the plasma, otherwise they wouldn't be building the big tokamak reactor. And it's that pressure down into there, and the pressure coming up here creates the plasma. There's all the energy. It's tapping into that zone there, drawing all the energy off there, and it's all free. Because once you get it going, it's to do with electrons, flowing electrons. And they know about it because, well, they've known about it for 100 years because of the magnetron and the microwave, which I cannot see down there. The magnetron works in a similar way. The flowing electrons in that. So look into that. So realise vacuums, that's where the vacuum is, in a strong magnetic field. So first you've got to create a strong magnetic field. Anybody can go out and create their own energy if they want. That's not a secret now. Anybody with engineering skills, electrical engineering skills, can go out and create a strong magnetic field based on this model. Tesla talks about it. I've done an earlier video about what he said. This gap here, you could alter this gap, make it narrow or wide or whatever. You want to stick to these same widths here. This measures the same amount of cable as this. They're equal. And that takes us back to what the Greeks have left us. There's lots of information in ancient texts. And the word they're using here is, so we use the word troposphere, isotropic. So isos meaning equal, and tropo meaning turn and change, because it's changing. You just get your strong magnetic field here, and we can do that with rodent cores in a moment, can't we? Well, if you try and figure out this configuration, there's a strong magnetic field, you get the super duper currents coming out of there. This is half the picture. Earth is a complete sphere, right? So, but we won't need the complete sphere. I don't think so. It will flow because it's based on a magnetic field. It's flowing the magnetic field, and that'll flow. That'll flow around, go up there, go down there, out the bottom, back up there, flow out there, down in there. It'll just flow. So it's getting enough current going initially to just set the thing off, and then hopefully we could be able to disconnect the current and let it run by itself. That's the idea. I mean, it'll eventually come, probably a bit far away at the moment, but it's all about the unseen energy, the magnetic fields, not the physical part. So you're wanting free energy over unity. That's the way it goes. So this is most likely hollow up here. So we up here, but because you need this room for this to flow. But we're restricted. We're inside this magnetic field here. That's where all our celestial bodies are. So, and this is why we tend to come back to where we began, because of this. This is why they want you to think you live on a ball, and everything comes back like this. Well, it does in the centre here, and out here, because you're expanding. It's tricky to get your head around that one, but it's all coming back to your arc of horizon. So you draw yourself in there. That's your arc of horizon. You're at the centre, and it all comes back to you when you get out here. If you can imagine your arc, everything comes back to you. So being out here is all relevant to you. So it's still going to end up the same as back here. When I can get to the dead centre, you're sort of out here, but that's basically how you end up back out here, because this is the same. Although it gets bigger out here, but you're expanding with it, and it's all relative to you. It all comes back to you. Don't even explain that one very well, but that's the way it is. That's how you come up with that image there, because it's all coming back in. It comes back in here. That goes back to the north, that goes back into the south. That goes back to the north, that goes back to the south. So imagine you're out there and it's just all coming back into you. It's your realm. You are the center of the universe. You've come from the center of the universe. Whatever's in there is now being blown up out here. Remember that? Dead center of there is dead center of there. You've come from in there, so you've got your arc of horizon. It's all I've got on the top of my head at the moment. So we'll leave it at that. Good luck trying to figure that one out.